Welcome to another riveting episode of 31 Days of Halloween. So, I need bones. Those got brushed in chocolate. I need doors. Those got brushed in chocolate. I always need raven's heads, so you know, that one got brushed in chocolate. I need these little guys here to have more decorations. And then we'll see how much I have left after that. Probably a lot. But I only mixed up 40 milliliters of TEEXPERT 1:1. And I put fruit green in here. Because that's what color mainly I want to be that. It won't matter these because it'll just back it. And I'm just pouring the raven's head, not the frame. Which I love that you can do that with this mold. Because I have a big raven's head mold, but I needed a smaller one for this. Now we got bones. Like I said, they're brushed in chocolate, or they're brushed in chocolate. The green you won't see on the front. And just maybe it'll look like they're, you know, infested with something rotted. I don't care. Oh gosh. Over pour, yep. Way over. So, we will see, I never learned. Put this into that small cup and pour it instead of trying your luck pouring it out of the larger cup where you can't squeeze it together. Yeah. Ew. Why? Probably because I'm just lazy and I don't want to have to clean the extra cup. That would take 2 seconds. Yeah, now I'm irritated with myself. You think I'm gonna pour it in a cup for this one? No, because this, no matter what you have, you're better off just using a squeegee on it, which is what I usually do. You can try as hard as you want to. Okay. There's our bones. Got to do some doors. Like I told you the other day, I'm on plan B because I didn't like the way the first plan was working out. So, and if Amazon doesn't deliver my stuff that was supposed to be here yesterday, oh my Lord. I don't know why it is. In Colleen, I got everything like next day, no matter what day. Didn't matter if it was a Sunday or not. I got deliveries. Amazingly enough, they all come out of Austin, right? So now I live in Austin, and on Mondays, it seems like every Monday that I should have a shipment coming, they put it off for the next day. Yeah, we're just pouring stuff around, and then we're gonna squeegee this because I don't care what you use unless you sit there and do a couple trips at a time, which I don't have time for that. This is nail art mold. A nail art mold that's dipped in the center. And I know everybody's is because Mary and I have the same mold. And she asked me if mine was dipped in the center, and I said yes. So, you know, everybody who gets this mold, I guarantee you it'll be dipped in the center. It's going to go on that list of pet peeves. I know it's for nail art, not for, you know, this kind of stuff, but you guys got to get stuff into this mold too. Companies that make the fondant mulch for cake and, you know, the clay molds and everything. You guys should be smart enough to understand that resin people are going to take that and try and make something with it. Because we'll try anything for resin, right? Yes, we will. That has been proven. That is a hair that I'm trying to get out of there. Did it come out? No. I mean, for God's sakes, Tim just did a, I don't know, what is that, like a 30-pound paperweight with a fruitcake in it? When he put out this short, I actually wrote, why? He said commissioned, and my question was still, why? Why? Why would anybody do that? Why are you putting a fruitcake into resin? But hey, you know, we've all put who knows what in resin. Lord knows we've had probably every food in resin. I'd say I'd never seen a fruitcake. My question was, who kept a fruitcake that long? I mean, that thing was like a rock. So my question is still, why? Why? Why did somebody save it? Why do you think it needs to be in resin? Inquiring minds, they want to know. And why did you keep it all these years? And does anybody really like fruitcake? Because I'm not sure anybody does. It's weird. Yes, my raven's head was leaking out of his beak. Miracle, you're gonna have to just suck it up. She's very upset right now because David had a VA appointment. So he came in, took her out, because he doesn't want me taking her out because she still pulls on a leash and he's afraid of her pulling me down with, you know, and then I'd be tangled in my walker and her, and probably wouldn't be good, but you know, I broke an ankle because of my pots. Break another bone with the dog trying to take her out for a walk. Because the one thing we don't have here is a yard. If you've been around, you know the story of there is one 3-bedroom apartment, only one, that actually has a yard. And David really wanted that apartment when we decided to move down here. And the guy that had it had been here for years and said he had no intention of leaving anytime soon. The next week after we got everything moved into this place, he put in his notice to leave. And they wanted to know, they said, you know, we know you really wanted this apartment. Do you want to just move over to there? And at that point we had just moved in, and he's like, never mind. And then he was kind of glad we didn't take it after all, because it is in the middle of the complex and you have everybody looking in. And so David and I are both, you know, well, I should say both. All my kids and I, the 2 boys and I, are very, we like our privacy. We don't, you know, it's just not something that we want to do. Have people lurking in or knowing our business or anything like that. That's not me. And when people try to do that, it irritates me. And that's why my mother and I don't get along. She thinks she has to know everything about my life, and I tell her absolutely nothing. And it really irritates her, which is exactly why I purposely don't tell her anything. Is that mean? No. No, if you knew my mother, you wouldn't think it was mean. She always tells me all the time. Jackie, my sister, who I also don't speak to, tells me, well, Jackie tells me everything. I said, well, good for Jackie. Good for her. You don't need to know every aspect of my business. When I got married the last time to the asshole that is still currently my husband, technically, she got so mad because the only ones that knew that we were getting married was my 2 boys and 2 of our friends that we played pool with, and we told them that they couldn't tell anybody and we needed them as witnesses. So that was the only reason they knew we were getting married. So then on Facebook, quit leaking. I didn't feel you that bad. On Facebook, I just changed my status from single to married. And my mother saw that and she called me and she said, you didn't even tell me you're getting married. We went to the courthouse. That's all we did. And I said, no. Well, why not? Because it's nobody's business. It's nobody's business. And she said, who, did you tell anyone? And I said, yeah, I told 4 people. And she was like, 4 people? I said, yeah. My 2 kids and the 2 people we had as a witness. And, said, well, that's just wrong, blah. And I said, I don't want to hear it. I can do what I want. I'm an adult. I can do exactly what I want to do, and I don't have to ask anybody's permission or anything like that. Then she proceeded to call my children, and this is one of the reasons that they don't talk to her. She proceeded to call my children and tell them how terrible they were that they didn't notify her that I was getting married, and they've all said if she wanted to know, she would have told you. You guys should have told me. And they're like, no. Mom told us she knew about it, and that was all that mattered. So yes, I don't. With me, it's people know what I want them to know. So now my mother will call like every couple of months, and the words out of her mouth every time I pick up the phone is, well, I just thought I'd call and check on you since, you know, you don't ever tell me what's going on. I said, yeah, I know. There's a reason. It's like I can never tell one person something because then they go and tell everybody. And even if I tell them not to, they still do it. And it irritates me. And I've tested that to know it's true. I will, my sister was calling me for a while, acting like we were all good again and all she wanted was to know what was going on with her son, that my nephew that talks to me and not to his own mother for the same reasons that I don't talk to my mother. And hers is actually worse because my nephew is gay, married to a really nice guy. Oh, that one has partial resin in it. Who knew? Apparently I never filled that one all the way up. And I gave her some false information, and those, my sister and my mother, cannot help themselves. So I gave my sister false information, and I'm telling you, I was not off the phone with my mother for more than off the phone with my sister for more than 15 minutes before my mother called and started asking me questions about what I said. And I'm like, this is exactly why I tell the two of you nothing. Because the two of you can't help yourselves to spread it all over the place. But my sister called me because she doesn't speak to my nephew because he's gay. Even though she says that's not the reason, that he's mentally unstable. He's mentally unstable because he's gay and got married. Okay. Thank you so much. She says, it has nothing to do with him being gay. And I said, really? Because Al, her husband, has a child from a previous marriage who's also gay, and guess what? They don't talk to him either. So the only one they talk to is the one that claims he's not gay. And I can't imagine not talking to your kid for something so stupid. And also, what house were you raised in? But, you know, my mother's no different. All of a sudden, she's against all these things, and it just wasn't like that when my dad was alive. You know, he kept her, or he tried to keep her from being stupid, but even he didn't always succeed. So now they try and call me and get information from me about my nephew. And it pisses them off that I don't give them information. And my son doesn't give them information because they've tried going through him too. Like, nope. That is not the way this works. my sister actually called me. She hasn't talked to her son in like 6, 7 years now. When he came out, yeah, about that. And she called me stating that her husband, his dad, he's not biologically his dad, but he did adopt him when they got together. Told me that I needed to get a hold of Zach, because I'm the only one that, David and I are the only ones that talk to him, because Al had cancer and they didn't know if he was going to make it. Now, my sister has lied about stuff before, so did I fully believe her? Yeah. No, and I told her, I said, if I find out that this is not true, it'll be the end of everything. Oh, it's true, it's true. I just want Zach to know. I said, so pick up a phone and call him. Well, I don't have his number. I said, you can message him on Messenger. And I didn't. I called Zach and I said, here's what the phone call I just got. Do with this information what you want. I said, I do not know if it's true or not. So he called, but he wouldn't talk to her. He only talked to his, adopted dad, Al. And we don't know what really happened. Miraculously, about a month after that, they were traveling in Portugal. So, I don't know. But, and then they wonder why I don't want to participate in this family bullshit. Alright guys, we will bring you back on demold when we can do all this. I just turned the heat mat on low. It might be later tonight, it may be in the morning, but I will see you then. Okay, let's demold some stuff. See, here we got bones. All red little bones. And we've got this pair of wings here. We got the raven's head, which needs to be cleaned up because I only pour his head sometimes. I've got a skull that I forgot I had never filled. And there he is. I've got this one. Here's the raven, crow. It's one of those birds. Here's some doors. Some wings. Here's the little INTORESIN cat. He always comes out good. And then we've got our little bitty miniatures. The bats, the stars, the pumpkins, the moons, I think that's all the little ghosts. Can't forget about those guys. So, that's what I have for you guys to finish up this one. And what we're coming down, well, today is Wednesday, what is it, the 22nd? Something like that. So we're down to like the last 8 days before the final reveal of what everybody's been doing. And I'm sure you guys have been trying to figure out what everybody's been doing. But have you figured it out yet? That's the question. Alright, I'm going to put all these over here with my other decorations. And we'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, like, share, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Hit that black bell so you know the next time that I upload a video. And don't forget about all those discount codes in the description box. They are there for your benefit. I get a small kickback from some of them, not all of them, just some of them. And that just goes right back into buying molds and all that kind of stuff for the channel. I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.